2016 can go down as one of the years that Lionel Messi will look to forget. He didn't perform as well as he wanted. Well, that is the theory in the Copa America, even though he did help and get them to the final. But that's all forgotten, Jason, when he blasts a penalty over the bar and dyes his hair bleach blonde and it grows out a rather attractive looking beard, if I don't mind saying so myself. But we will move forward because he has not been taken into consideration for the final three candidates to win the UEFA Player of the Year. Now, the critique for this is a little bit cloudy at the moment. I looked through as many of the articles as I could to try and register what competitions are taken into account. And according to a lot of the legislation, it's a European-based competition. So the Euro 2016 regular season in Europe and in the Champions League. And I was thinking to myself, one, that's a little unfair if these players happen to be playing in the Euro 2016 and it doesn't take into consideration the Copa America. Now, even if it did take into consideration the Copa America, I'm still not sure if it does or doesn't. You could still say that there's an argument to be made that the three candidates they chose are still worthy candidates. But Lionel Messi, not considered in that list, alongside Luis Suarez, has posed a lot of talking points.
Let's throw to the top 10 before they made the shortlist. Because, if I'm being honest, sure, Messi didn't have the best season. But the three finalists they have from that, two of which are standing right next to each other, Ronaldo and Griezmann right in the middle, and then the third finalist, just to the left of Pepe, is Gareth Bale.
Yep.
I thought Suarez had a better year than Bale. And there's going to be arguments all over the board. What I love so much about the UEFA Player of the Year this year, and eventually the Ballon d'Or voting this year, is that Ronaldo's going to win in a landslide vote.
Yeah.
So you're really arguing over like who's the second, third, and fourth best player in the world right now because it's undoubtedly, unquestionably Cristiano period, Ronaldo period.
Yeah.
Especially after Euros, Champions League, all said and done. But why not give Messi some fuel? You know, keep him off the short list.
Yeah.
This is good for football. It really is because maybe, you know, he had everyone likes a bounce back. Everyone likes a comeback story. What's amazing is that Messi now can win comeback player of the year.
Yes,
which is ridiculous to think of. But did he have a weak Messi season? Yes. Is he still one of the top five greatest on the pitch at all times?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think the headlines will run the clickbait headline of Messi snubbed when, as you just mentioned, which is
do you
about the
think
point.
he was snubbed?
No, I think Suarez was snubbed.
Do you instead of Bale?
Instead of Bale, yeah.
So Griezmann and Ronaldo are thumbs up.
Yeah, okay, so my argument, first of all, right, so a lot of people now in this modern day and era will just quantify everything. Everything's quantifiable.
Well, how many goals did he have?
Specifically when it's La Liga. So this is my point, right? When you look at Cristiano Ronaldo's card, which you can run through it and be raw, like all his statistics, worthy candidate, ridiculous amount of goals through the regular season. I believe if you're looking at all his
36 appearances, 35 goals.
36 appearances, 35 goals in the Champions League, 16 goals in the Champions League. Just a phenomenal accolade. Every year striving to go on best his already set record in the Champions League, right? So Ronaldo is very quantifiable because that's what he offers. And by the way, that's what happens when you play part of a system that focuses so much on going forward and scoring goals. Hence why my next point will come across and it will seem a little ranty, but I just need to silence those that will consistently try and discard a candidate like Antoine Griezmann because he doesn't score as many goals as Cristiano Ronaldo. Here is a couple of points on that. Atletico Madrid scored 63 goals total in La Liga. That is nearly half of what Barcelona and Real Madrid scored. 112 goals Barcelona, 110 goals Real Madrid. That is the system they set up with. They have both scored, on average, Real Madrid scored 2.8 goals per game that season. Barcelona scored 2.9 goals that season. Antoine Griezmann plays with a team that scores 1.6 goals per game, and he scored nearly half of their goals in the season, putting together a fantastic season of 22 goals in La Liga, and then in the Champions League he grabbed 7, and then most importantly in the Euro 2016 he is the player that helps propel France to the final by scoring 6 goals and takes home the golden boot for the Euro 2016. That's just my argument for those that want to quantify how great players are through statistics. Ronaldo adds statistics to what he brings to the team. Leadership, crucial moments in the game, his hat-trick against Wolfsburg, his performance against Hungary in the Euro 2016. Those are great moments where Ronaldo shows why he's the best. Don't look at the fact that he never played in the final as a reason why he shouldn't be, because he never scored a goal and added to the statistics. Sometimes football is about more than just statistics. Hence why Atletico Madrid were only 3 points off of Barcelona. So whether Barcelona score 100 goals more than Atletico, all that matters is what the sole purpose of every team is: to win the game.
Correct.
So whether or not he can bang in 60 goals and take Atletico to the same area as Barcelona, it doesn't matter as long as they get the result done. And Atletico are a defensive-minded team. So please, oh please, stop comparing Griezmann to Suarez. The fact that Suarez should pick Griezmann for it, because Griezmann's a worthy candidate. However, considering Suarez up to Bale, that's a similar argument. Both of those play on teams that score a lot of goals.
I'm going to play devil's advocate for just a second, right, on Griezmann. The goal-scoring points are all sound, obviously. Valid, logical, fantastic. Atletico Madrid, given the fact that they score 1.6 was the number?
Yes.
1.6 goals per game, a big part of their winning ways wasn't just Griezmann. You can attribute a lot to the back four. Mm-hmm. You can attribute a lot to guys like Godin when he was healthy, and guys like Oblak, who time and time again proved how crucial he was in bailing out Atletico. Maybe not bailing out, that's a strong word, but being a anchor in their winning ways, of course, competing in La Liga and competing in the Champions League. For all those reasons. But also guys like Pepe, right? Why is it that the UEFA Player of the Year, and this goes across all sports, but why is the UEFA Player of the Year and the Ballon d'Or, why don't they recognize for the shortlist, Neuer got it not too long ago on the shortlist, defensive-minded players that if you were to take certain defensive players off a team, would have resounding impact on table standings, on Champions League finishes. We always, and I say we, I mean everybody will always quantify those who score because it's exciting. How many guys are looking up highlights of, well, look at Pepe's tremendous footwork across the line right there. That's just beautiful defense. Rather than saying, oh my God, Cristiano Ronaldo put one on from 40 and banged into the top left corner.
It's a valid point, and it's every year defenders are overlooked. They're always going to be overlooked. Pepe deserves in every way to be on that list because he was one of the main reasons Portugal made it to the final. He was the player of the match in the final. He was undoubtedly one of the strongest.
Very
mature, and one of the reasons why Real Madrid went that way. The only reason I bring up Griezmann is just because I've seen throughout people just trying to justify that because Suarez scored that amount of goals, he should be on it. Suarez should be on that list. I would have Ronaldo, Griezmann, and Suarez. I wouldn't have Messi in there. I agree. I think Gareth Bale had a good season. He didn't play the majority of games in La Liga. I think one of the main reasons he's in that list is because of Wales. Because when you stand out in a team that shouldn't get anywhere near the place that they did, to get to the semi-finals of the Euro 2016, come on. Jesus Christ, this is a team, this is a country that has more sheep than people. And they've managed to get themselves to a position that no one else expected. And Gareth Bale was one of the driving forces behind that. And he deserves all the mentions in the world because of that. But if you're talking about comparing people who are actually in the same category to compare, then compare two teams that score the same amount of goals in a season. Suarez, even if, this is my point, if you take Suarez out of the Barcelona team, is he a huge loss? Absolutely. Will Barcelona find a way to score 100-plus goals a season still in La Liga?
Absolutely.
Yes, because they've done it every year previous to Suarez coming in, and they consistently will do it. The reason I give Griezmann a lot of credit, but I still don't think he deserves to win because of the points I mentioned about Ronaldo, is because if you were to take him away from Atletico Madrid, they won't score as many goals because he was vital at coming in, because they need those goals more than a Barcelona. They need those one-goal victories rather than the 4 or 5-0s that you see every year when it comes to La Liga. So
what's actually amazing, if you took 10 goals off Atletico's season, they're probably finishing, I wish I had the table in front of me, but they're finishing lower, maybe Champions League, everything changes. You take 10 goals off Barcelona, Real Madrid, you take 25 goals off it, they're still winning La Liga or competing for 1 and 2.
Yeah,
it's actually remarkable given.
That's what I said. It's nearly half, and that's my argument when it comes to La Liga. I love the league. It's got the most quality players, but that's the main reason whenever I say it's not the most entertaining, because the gap in goals, because Barcelona and Real Madrid are always due for a 5-6-0. At least 3 or 4 times in the season to do that. So, but we've actually digressed away from the point, and that's why you guys like us, because just because the headline states that Messi was snubbed doesn't mean that we're just going to follow suit as to what every other outlet does. And Messi's one of the greatest ever. Yes, when you're the greatest ever, you're unfortunately held to a ridiculously high standard. Therefore, if you don't hit that standard and other players go on to surpass, they should get to that level and they should be considered. Hence why I think Suarez was the biggest snub. But Jason, tell me more.
Well, I was
why
gonna say-
why is Messi struggling so much this year?
We're going to lead up because by the end of the summer, we're going to have to do which athlete had the worst summer. And
Yes.
Messi is making a tremendous campaign. Because now, and whether it's true or not, just believe it for a second. Like they tell you when you see movies, suspend your disbelief and you will enjoy it more. Well, if you suspend your disbelief for just a second, you will really enjoy this story. An Argentinian model has ripped Lionel Messi for being, quote, like a dead body in bed. Now, let's get to the full quote. This is from the Daily Mail, which is also picked up by, of course, Barstool Sports. And the model, Ms. Gonzalez, it was many years ago. In truth, he was very young, but he knew what he was doing. Was not a minor. That was the important thing. His security told me, got someone you want to know. I was curious to see who it was and froze when I saw it was my idol, Messi. She said, I said that he is the wimp, though, because he sent his security to get me. There I noticed that he is very shy. When one plays across the whole pitch, you expect someone to return the favor. I wanted him to show me more than that. At one point, I felt like I was with a dead body. Great football reference to the in-bed reference. One plays across the whole pitch. You expect someone to return the favor.
So, do you think this could be taken without?
You can roll pictures, by the way.
Yeah,
too.
I don't want to take it out of context because for the fun of it, it is fun to imagine. Even now, she's probably looking at the Messi of today with the bleach blonde hair and the tattoos and the beard and like, all right, that's the type of guy that maybe knows his way around the full pitch. But do you think that might be taken out of
Messi
context?
can fit through.
Yeah. Do you think that might be taken out of context now? The fact that it seemed like she went from the security came and got me to have a conversation with him, and then suddenly we referenced it in bed. Do you think it might mean he was like, he had a dead personality, or do you think he meant he was dead beat down there?
I don't know.
Jason, tell me. I thought you were my Messi sex correspondent.
As the Lionel Messi sex correspondent, I believe that, look, we put all of these athletes on a huge pedestal. We have no knowledge of what they're like behind closed doors.
Unless they're
besides the fact that Messi always has seemed like a shyer guy around media, so maybe he's a shyer guy around Argentinian supermodels.
Yeah.
With big fun bags.
Maybe he's just not the Orlando Bloom that we all thought he was.
We had to sneak one in there.
We had to sneak one in there, at least at one point.
Ja'Cory in the booth?
Uh-oh. The microphone was grabbed from the distance, which means...
Ja'Cory in the booth. Is there any excuse as to why Lionel Messi should be a dead body in bed?
Yeah, of course. She says his security came and got him. Messi doesn't walk around daily life as security. He's around security on game days, during practice, during press interviews, after which he's probably exhausted. He probably want to just lay back and have her do the work and just relax. He's probably beat. He's a fucking international football player. This man is tired for the most of the time.
Yeah, it's a very valid point. Ja'Cory in the booth, Judge Ja'Cory in the booth.
Good point.
It is a very good point. I mean, sometimes we all know that sometimes at the end of the day, you're just like, please, have at it. Ride me like a rodeo clown. And that's all that we have said, and that's all that will be said at the end of this clip.
You
And by
said
the
two
way-
things that have absolutely gotten me on this clip.
What-
Two.
what was it?
Ride me like a rodeo clown, more sheep than people.
It's
Sheeple.
One of which is factually correct, I believe. But
The
we
rodeo
won't-
clown?
Yeah, maybe. Let us know what you guys think in the comment section below. Only on TYT Sports do we digress from best player in Europe to the best in
Worst
bed.
player in bed.
The worst player in bed. Very good transition. Jason Rubin, hit us in the comments. Francis_Maxwell on Twitter, Jason Rubin91. By the way, if you haven't already seen on Twitter, it exploded last night, went through the roof, because there is a podcast coming to you exclusively. It's not just going to be ripped from here where we'll sit and talk to you guys. No, it's what you guys wanted. It is a podcast. More details to come, so stay tuned on that. You can follow along at our Instagrams. We'll probably be doing more stuff leading up to that, showing you what we're going to be talking about, what we're going to be looking into, at Francis Maxwell Host, at Jason Rubin91. We'll see you guys very soon.